I had been talking to one of my regular hot yoga instructors on two particular topics. Number one, I felt after a number of years of my hot yoga practice that I had kind of reached a limit. I had, reached a wall in terms of, I had taken up hot yoga in my early 40s to address some back pain issues. But I had felt as though I had reached the limit in terms of, elasticity of muscles and the ability to stretch. And then I also had a hamstring injury that I was talking to my yoga instructor about, and they just strongly recommended. Actually, this particular yoga instructor had also gone to see Marjorie as a patient, and his recommendation was to at least go and see her for one session. And I did that about 8 years ago and have been seeing her ever since. Certainly the referral from my hot yoga instructor. Having been a patient of Marjorie's, he was just effusive in his praise of her. So that really stood out and wanted me to give it a try. Two things really were the driving factors to go and see Marjorie. I had injured my hamstring, and obviously I was very concerned about overstretching of the hamstring because it was so tight. I don't know how I injured it actually. There was the thought that maybe I had injured it through overstretching during yoga. And so in the conversation with my yoga instructor, he had recommended Marjorie for that. And then as Marjorie was also a practitioner of hot yoga, and as I knew her from the classes, naturally then our conversations, once I went to see her, kind of evolved into improvement of certain hot yoga postures, particularly ones that she thought would help me from a flexibility standpoint. The strongest thing that contributes to my continuing to go and see Marjorie is the ability to customize every session. So prior to Marjorie, I had gone to regular physical therapy sessions numerous times, and those therapists kind of throw you on the table and stretch you and do whatever it is that they want to do. Whereas, Marjorie's first question to me when I see her, as I continue to see her, is, what's bothering you today? What do you want to work on today? So it's the ability to customize the session. Marjorie doesn't, start her sessions by telling you what you need. She listens to you talking about what it is that's bothering you. For me, it could be a hamstring, it could be my back, and we customize the session to whatever she believes is going to help me for that session. Absolutely, the therapy has exceeded my expectations. I have, as I've said, I've been a patient of Marjorie's for almost 8 years now, and I see her monthly, regularly, unless there's something that impacts that. But I don't want to think about not being able to continue to see Marjorie on a monthly basis. I have quite a bit of muscle tightness. My posture for a long time in my life, prior to hot yoga and prior to meeting Marjorie, my posture was not good. So, we're talking about a lifetime of muscle tightness that we're trying to unwind and that we're successfully unwinding. in my sessions with Marjorie. I would summarize it all as, having your own personal therapist is a plus. And that's the way I look at my relationship with Marjorie. So, I leave every session that I have with Marjorie. We make a date, for the next session that I'm going to come back. And then I have my own personal yoga practice that I do. And I take notes for myself of, what I'm feeling in a particular yoga session. What's bothering me? Is my knee bothering me in this session? Has it bothered me for a few days? And then when I go back to see Marjorie, that basically dictates what we're going to work on that day. Because if I've had a problem for the previous couple of weeks, I will say, hey, let's work on XYZ. Now, if there's not something that has been bothering me, then we go into the normal therapeutic stretching routine that we have, which is designed to improve my posture. I probably should have said at the start, I have chronic degeneration of my discs. And so if I don't stand up straight and if I don't have the right posture, I'll have, significant back pain. So everything that we do with everything I do with Marjorie is ultimately intended to improve my posture and eliminate back pain. I think the key difference between Marjorie's practice is how personally curtailed it is to your needs. We've all been to, physical therapy. I want to almost call them physical therapy shops, where, you go in for a 40-minute session. I've certainly experienced this. You go in for a 40-minute session, the therapist works with you for 10 to 15 minutes on some light stretching, and then gives you a program for the rest of the 25 minutes that you essentially do on your own. And they'll come over and check with you, how's it going? But it is not the one-on-one. Those therapists usually have 3 or 4 patients at a time, and they're rotating around, in the 45 minutes or the 50 minutes that the appointment is. So the key difference with Marjorie is you are the only patient at that time. There's not somebody waiting in the hallway. There's not somebody exiting the room as you're entering the room. So it is truly a one-to-one relationship, and the customization of the sessions are what make it far and above anything that I've experienced prior. The word that I would use to describe my relationship with Marjorie is rewarding. As I go from session to session, I'm always thinking about the next session. And even if I have significant pain, or if I have injury, or if I do something, I can either wait till my next session with Marjorie, or I can shoot her an email and say, hey, can you squeeze me in? And it's knowing that she will fix whatever's bothering me. It might not be in one session, so I don't want folks to have expectations that everything gets fixed in one session. But she will put you on a path to eliminating whatever the problem is. And over the years that I've been with Marjorie, as I've said, whether it's back pain, shoulder tightness, knee tightness, she has essentially fixed every issue I've had. Now, for me, I just continue to have different issues because of, as I've said, a lifetime of muscle tightness. But knowing, that I have Marjorie in my corner, I'm never too worried about, a sharp pain or an ailment that I'll start to feel, because I know that I'll be seeing her in a couple of weeks and we'll be back on the road to recovery. There have been multiple benefits from the therapy, but I'd say the one unexpected was, posture improvement. For years, I had been hearing people say to me, stand up straight, stand up straight. And even through yoga practice, that had improved somewhat. But the one-on-one, sessions with Marjorie provided me with that huge benefit that I was not expecting, which was, for the first time in my life, the ability to stand up straight and have proper posture. If you have been through physical therapy sessions, and if you have any type of negative experience from a physical therapy session, or even if you just haven't had a tremendously positive session or positive experience, if you think, yeah, PT works, but it's not great, I would say, give Marjorie a try. From my first session with her 8 years ago, I have continued with her throughout that course of time. And as I've said previously, I can't imagine not having my sessions with Marjorie, to continue to make the improvements that I'm making from a posture standpoint. If you're on the fence, give it a try. Try one session. There's no obligation to come back after one, but definitely try that one. I mean, for me, it changed my life. I would hope that it would have the same impact on anyone that's on the fence. You've got to give Marjorie a shot. There's really little to no risk. You will come out of that one session feeling better than you did when you were going in, and she will guide you and set the expectations of what to expect with, a second session or a third session. I would say to anyone, you're kind of on, if you're kind of doing yourself a disservice by not trying one session with Marjorie. That's probably the easiest question. It is a 10.